What up, what up, what up, you people? Party people.
Brandon, how's it going? How's your day been, bro?
It's good. It's Monday. It's been a little better than normal Monday, but I'm excited. We're finally on track for the weekly podcast on Monday. I'm so excited for that part finally.
Finally,
What
man.
about you, bro?
That's
What
my
about
fault.
you?
And I just kicked the hell out of my desk. But dude,
I heard
this is
that.
gonna be the best part of my Mondays, hands down. You know what I mean? I'm so pumped.
100%. For real. Great way to end a Monday.
But I was just on Twitter, literally, as we're talking about like what we're gonna be talking about in the podcast today, and I see a tweet from CBS Sports saying the hardest hitter in NFL history is blank.
Okay.
So I haven't thought much about it except for maybe 35 seconds, and I told you about it just now. So
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
curious if we could kind of if we have the same person in mind, or we probably don't. And therefore, we're probably gonna have to argue. But
There's a couple people I have in mind.
okay,
A couple people.
spit them
But
out.
I'm trying to think. So top two, just when you come to mind, you got Lawrence Taylor and Ray Lewis when I first think of it right after it. I won't lie.
Okay.
But are they considered the hardest hitter is the question.
Mhm.
Like, they're definitely one of the hardest, but do you consider them the hardest hitter? That's the thing. Like, and from your reaction, I know you have a different you have a different name.
Completely different name. Completely.
Okay,
different name.
let's who would you say?
This might be a little biased because he was an ex-Commanders. I'll never call him that. I'd rather call him the Washington football team. But Sean Taylor, that mother trucker could hit. If you see him at the Pro Bowl games, even in the Pro Bowl games where no one's trying, this dude did not care about human life at all.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
RIP, but I mean, this guy was out of freaking control and was taken from us way too soon. So we could even see like how actually hard he could hit on like NFL stages that actually matter. So I don't know. Sean Taylor, Ray Lewis, I like Lawrence Taylor. I think people were more scared of them than actually of being hit by them. You know what I mean?
So I'm not gonna lie. I looked up just now after you said that. I looked up to see, who we got. And neither of us have the hardest hitter according to this.
Okay, who do they say the hardest hitter is?
I'm going to scroll through all 30 names real fast because I don't care about anyone besides number one at the current moment. But number one, they have Ronnie Lott, who that's a throwback name, and that's before both of us were born.
I don't know who that is. I don't know. I was
going to say it's before both of us were born, so it's. But I mean, from the looks of it, he's a hard hitter. Let's see, number two, they got Brian Dawkins. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. Forgot about him.
That's a good pick.
Ray Lewis at 3.
Okay.
Solid pick right there.
Solid, yeah.
Dick Butkus at 4. Okay. I can see that, but Lawrence Taylor 5. Steven Atwater at 6. I'm still trying to find your name, boy. Your boys. Ronnie Harrison at 7.
Well, he died, so I feel like that's a little unfair that these guys had full-on careers. But I'm gonna put in the
Sean Taylor's 12. Sean Taylor's 12 according to their list.
And you know what? That's fair for a guy that literally died way too early. Like,
yeah,
I'll take.
He could have brought up, but
could have been top 10 just based off of what we've seen. But I mean, you pick. Who wants to be hit by any of those 12 guys?
For real, like any of at that point, I'm laying down. Take the money's yours. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm out.
Take my family, kill them, whatever you want to do. I don't want
that. I was not prepared for that question, but Liv, I mean, you asked, and Ray Lewis popped in my head first. But I mean, Sean Taylor knew how to actually like play the way that any of them, like those big name players, play right now. That
dude.
But I mean,
scary.
I feel like also like the top 10 all separated by like 0.00% basically. There's not much, like, you got the hardest hitters, that's the hardest hitters, but wow, what a
I feel like
different
also
different
how
way
are
to start too.
Are they asking the people that have gotten hit by these people that are like,
that's true,
how did this feel? Did that hurt? Like, what are the
does that hurt?
like as they're
That
like
was-
paralyzed, like just
Yeah. Yeah, I feel great. Feel great. Love it. Do it again.
like too. But man,
Oh.
I mean, a little off-season football never hurts.
Well,
But
Yeah,
maybe
no,
we should
never
start
hurt.
off our maybe we should start off each one with like a question like this. Just
I
get the
like
brain
it. I like it.
going. But Sean Taylor,
Question that we're not
Volvaz, but
prepared for,
RIP.
also.
Sorry.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, can never go wrong with anything. But I like that. I like the little question. Threw me off there. Made me
It's
think real
simple.
fast. I was not prepared for that question.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I mean,
no.
off season doesn't matter right now, except for one thing happening with the Cardinals. But let's get to the
Oh,
story.
there's one more thing before Cardinals. Also, Aaron Rodgers, they said that they would be prepared to pay him to be the highest player in the league if he signs with them.
So maybe we just jump into this now. Let's just address this right.
Let's do football real fast. Yeah,
freaking
do it real fast.
right now. Aaron Rodgers, I have a message for you if you're ever watching this. You're not gonna ever watch this, but I have a message for you. Get over yourself, buddy. You've choked several times in the NFC Championship game. I had the utmost respect for you, thinking it was always the Packers until this whole immunized, not immunized, vaccinated, whatever. I don't trust the words you're saying. If the Packers were to pay him, that shows desperation. Then why the heck did you pick up Jordan Love in this first round? And not give him this man any help? Maybe he wouldn't have choked that hard. I'll be very surprised if this happens. I don't think he deserves it. I think if you can't win a NFC Championship game and you've been there, I think 5 out of the last 10 years, something like that. Like if you look at the totality of the 10 years, he's been to the last 3 for sure. There's like, get over yourself. You're not that guy, pal. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because I have Matthew Stafford left the NFC North, went to the freaking NFC West with the Rams, won the Super Bowl the first time he got actual help. But Aaron Rodgers has the most help in that division and still can get anything done. Easiest path in the world. But neither here nor there.
I just think that there's so many teams that need a quarterback, and there's not enough in the draft at all this year that Green Bay, like as much as they might trust Jordan Love in the future, they know that he's nowhere near ready. So the only chance they have is to pay Rodgers to be a contender. But will it matter? I really don't think so. Like, I just see them choking again. It's just in the history of them.
But also, like, what I'm curious is, are they talking like, because I feel like everyone here is highest paid player. They think $500 million because that's what Pat Mahomes.
Well, so I think,
is it yearly? Is that what they're talking about, or totality of the contract?
So right now, Matt Ryan is the highest cap hit in NFL history at like $48 million this year. I think they're going to plan to make Rodgers $50 million this year at least. I think that's the only option they really have for him to stay.
Okay.
Which, congrats! Like if you can get $50 million a year, props to you. I don't think it's going to do anything.
Who wouldn't take that?
Yeah, but I mean, there's quarterback drama elsewhere as well, and I know you're excited about this as well,
dude. Well, I was listening to First Take today, and they're all talking. I mean, there's like 8 to 10 starting quarterbacks this season, either entering free agency or could enter free agency. I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely one of them. Deshaun, Kirk Cousins, all these different guys, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's people all over.
Russell Wilson, whatever.
Derek Carr.
I mean, dude, in Arizona right now, if this thing doesn't figure itself out, this is gonna Aaron Rodgers, who, in my opinion, that's what I'm thinking. Like, who's gonna think twice about this guy? Can you break it down, kind of what's happening? Just like everyone's on the same page.
In Arizona, from what I could be wrong on this, but from what I've read recently and heard, more or less, Kyler Murray wants to be the future quarterback for them. Like, he wants a long-term deal. He wants the deal, and his agent, I believe, tweeted or said something in all caps. Like, basically, it was like he wants it. But I don't know if Arizona really they had one of the worst collapses ever this past year, in my opinion. Like, from the start to finish, and I just don't. Kyler Murray is a great quarterback, but can he get you to that level? I'm not sure.
Well,
Like,
this is the interesting point to that is that Arizona, before all of this came out with the agent and Kyler, came out and said that he is a drama queen and that
yeah,
he
I
isn't
believed
a
it.
leader and he isn't this and he isn't that, which is interesting because, like I don't know if it was Cliff Kingsbury was asked a question like this and he like didn't deny it, but also didn't say it was true. He kind of just like was kind of very
Yeah,
neutral. I mean, if the organization's coming out and saying this right before you're about to try and get your bag, then most
it's
likely
not looking
you're
good.
not going to get it.
The problem I think also with him is Kyler Murray kind of wants to be the next Russell Wilson, like
Yeah.
a little shorter, can run as a, but he has no postseason experience besides was that they got destroyed,
By the
like
Rams.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean just destroyed. So like I saw in the first half of that game, one of his wide receivers had more passing yards than him. It's like it's just not a good sign. Like the game that mattered, congrats, you went whatever 8-0, 9-0 at first, and then you basically collapsed second half of the season. Who's going to want him? Like, given there's plenty of people that need quarterbacks, so there's someone who will. But I just feel like it's not. If he's a drama queen and he wants a bag, who's going to want to pay him without him proving that he's worth the drama? It's like the Odell situation in New York. They don't, he was, yes, there was drama. So then they shipped him off to Cleveland. Everyone thinks he's the problem. Clearly he wasn't. And then he basically helped the Rams win a Super Bowl. He's worth the drama, in my opinion. But is Kyler Murray worth the drama?
Mm-hmm. See, I completely see this the exact opposite way as you.
Okay.
Exact opposite.
You think everyone's going to want him?
I think, I mean, there's going to be GMs that are dropping their pants for this dude. And I'm going to say why. Yeah, he wasn't great. I mean, I don't blame that so much on Kyler. I blame that more so on Cliff Kingsbury for not having a system when D-Hop's not there. Cliff Kingsbury shouldn't have gotten
That's
the
fair.
job. What did he do in Texas Tech? I don't even watch NCAA like football and college football. What the heck did this dude do to get that job to begin with? Except for having this relationship with Kyler that clearly Cliff Kingsbury can't control. I think if this guy goes to not like a Bill Belichick team, but like a coach established like Bill Belichick, I mean, what do you think he'll do in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, no.
Najee
But there's
Harris,
definitely teams that want him.
I think there's teams that are like, this guy with his athleticism is going to get us far. I think his athleticism, with all these claims of like drama queen, whatever, I think his athleticism is saving him because he's not the great, like he's good at throwing, but I think his athleticism really stands up above the crowd. I mean,
yeah,
he has that one deep throw to D-Hop against, I forget who, the Bills in 2 years ago?
I think
Not
so.
this past season, but the Hail Mary, like the Hail Murray, right? I mean, this kid is special. I mean, it's not to be denied that there's a reason why he was the MVP front runner until D-Hop got hurt and whatever. I think you get him in the right system, the right structure. I just think it's Cliff Kingsbury is being a little, can't control his team, doesn't have a really good system in place so that Kyler Murray could get those pieces together. I mean, they barely lost. And I say barely because AJ Green decided to not, like his controller turned off in that against the Packers this past season.
Yeah.
If they win that game, they would have been 10-0. Who knows?
Yeah. So here's my question though. Do you think they try to trade him or does he make it a free agency? Because as good as a player is, I don't know if he's worth the amount you would have to give up for him. That's the question also though. Because you would have to give up a boatload for him. And if it doesn't pan out, your franchise is screwed.
But that's
the problem.
And maybe this is like my follow-up question is, I don't know much about contracts. Is his contract like the Cardinals have full control of where he would go?
No, I'm pretty sure if he is free agency, I'm pretty sure because he's still in rookie deal as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
right?
But doesn't he have another year on it because he did like an extension and then this was like the
so yeah, if they picked up the 5th-year option, which I'd have to look into, but I'm assuming they probably would have before this drama queen came out. But if they pick the 5th-year option, they still have him controlled for 1 more year, so it would take 2 years or so for him to leave. But after the contract's up, he's full on free agent, go wherever.
Yeah.
So I feel like they would try to trade him away if they're going to. If they don't give him a deal, I feel like he's trying. But I just don't see the problem is a team to give up as much as they would. You got to be the Rams. You got to be ready to win a Super Bowl. And if you're not, you're screwing yourself over for the future.
But even then, I still think I think there's at least 4 to 5 teams, maybe not in playoff contention. I think there's like 2 or 3 that might actually want to pick them up. Like, again, Pittsburgh might want to pick them up. Who knows? Maybe the Vikings. I mean,
well, so what I was thinking is possibly Miami or Philadelphia basically swapping quarterbacks as well as co-picks, because it's clear Tua's not going to be the long term in Miami. People say he is, but also there's a lot of talk he's not. Hurts in Philadelphia. If you ask any Philadelphia person, they're going to say, of course. But no, everyone knows it's not.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I see a quarterback swap with a pick or two. But to just get Kyler Murray, like, as much as Pittsburgh probably could use him, you would have to give up Najee Harris probably. And
I think
a lot of draft
up,
picks.
Like who? Chase Claypool. Like, give them Chase Claypool. Like, give them.
But they're going to ask for so much more.
AJ Green, but they're going to ask for a lot. Is he worth that? Absolutely not. Kyler Murray's not worth like a player in 3 picks. Like, that's not it. Is he?
That's what I'm saying.
3 picks? Yeah. Maybe. Like,
maybe
3 picks.
Depending on the picks,
good.
but yeah.
He's not like an Aaron Rodgers when he's getting traded, or like Deshaun Watson when people are saying like 3 first rounds, 2 seconds, and like a third. Like, no, but like he's definitely worth.
He's worth. Yeah, I can see, yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The off season is very much young, and I think it's going to also kind of depend on with the draft once it comes up, when it comes to who gets quarterbacks off the board and whatnot, and who still needs quarterback once it's over. Could there be a deal of, on draft night, him being traded away to another team, and then that team gets a quarterback high up? Maybe.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And this could also very easily be like another Dak Prescott. Not saying that they're similar in that sense, but maybe just Arizona's trying to play hardball. And, maybe he plays this 5th year still on that contract, and then he gets extended. I mean, like, things.
Who knows?
Things could happen, but
maybe they make a deep run the playoffs and everything is completely fine.
I think because it's very similar to that Dak situation, because he never came out saying he's unhappy. It wasn't like Aaron Rodgers, but it was like, I want my money. And, Dallas ended up paying. So maybe this is a bunch of nothing, but this kid will be playing for a contender next year, whether that's in Arizona or somewhere else. I just have that feeling.
Yeah, no, that's quite fair. I would agree with that. I don't know who would put up enough to get him in a trade right now, but who knows? There's a long time before the next season starts, and I'm sure there's gonna be so much more drama as once draft night ends and whatnot. But
absolutely, that was a good football.
There's more drama elsewhere. There is
because there is more drama elsewhere. Let's just
first off,
start it off, because I don't want to talk about the first one that's going to come up. I don't want to start it.
I want to start one that you aren't. Denver Nuggets looking hot as hell, and I'm very excited because that's the face you're going to make if my bet comes through as well, because you hate to see it, but also you can't deny it. 6-game win streak, they're looking good. They're making moves, and they're not even at full strength yet. And they could still make more moves. I love it.
I don't. It makes me look like a fucking idiot. Let me tell you that right now.
It makes me look like a genius.
It makes you look like a genius. Well, okay, let's.
You're like, there's no chance.
I will say this: I'm holding on hope that there is no chance they make it out of the first round, because I'm going to look.
Oh yeah, listen. Right now they are tied for 6th with the Denver Mavericks. They got 3.5 game lead over the play-in seeds right now. They're only 2.5 behind Utah Jazz for 4th seed right now. They are making moves.
I mean, look at Luka last night. So, okay, this is the matchups that I think we need to just get out of the way. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they're not going to come back, right? Like,
yeah, it is what it is.
They're somehow still 8th, and somehow the Lakers are still 5 games behind, but that's not a conversation for now. We'll talk about that. Minnesota, that's a scary matchup. Fair. They're very.
Minnesota's right now
in a 7-game series.
Minnesota beat Cleveland tonight.
They're facing Cleveland, I think, and they're getting their butt whooped.
They beat Cleveland tonight. They won just now.
Oh, they did?
They won by 5.
They were down by like 15 or something. Okay, good for them.
Yeah, they won by I'm okay with that. Helps out my Hawks.
Helps
I
out
need
your
those
Hawks.
seats in the East, but
Kind of need the help, right? I'm not going to talk about that now.
Yeah. But yeah, so Minnesota, 7 games.
I see them winning that. So like, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
worried about that, but they would have to be third, right? Or second. They're not going to be first or second or third. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think
no.
the ceiling for this team is being that 4th slot. So let's just say it's an easy switch,
Yeah.
right? They go to get 4, and then everyone else shifts down 1. They'll be facing Dallas. I mean, Luka takes teams to the freaking edge. Who do you want your money on?
He does.
Who do you want your money on? Nikola Nikola Jokic doesn't do. I mean, he makes it to the second round usually, and then he loses to the Lakers. So like,
but still,
I like
if
my
he makes it the
odds with
second
Luka.
round,
He did more with
I think
less against the freaking Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George.
That's fair.
So I'm not worried about that. Now, my question is, Jamal Murray, does he do what he do in the bubble, or
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If it's bubble Murray, then he can go toe for toe. But
and then you got Jazz.
I still
the
think they
Jazz.
out.
So then like the Jazz,
Who
I see that being like the scary one. But I have more money in Dallas and Utah than I do, which I think are the more ideal matchups, like realistic matchups, than I do in the Denver Nuggets. So I'm holding hope. I might sound like an idiot because they won 6 games, but I think they still got it. I think I still got my bet.
I mean, it's quite fair, and given they might end up staying the 6th seed if Jazz and Mavericks both stay consistent as well. And thankfully for Memphis, John Morant's injury was nothing at all. The man came back the next game just fine, which I was happy to see, because that's just, I mean, you don't want to see players get hurt, especially down the stretch. So, I mean, you could be right, but at the same time, I mean, they're looking good, and they're not even full strength yet. Let's see.
I mean,
who do they have next?
I mean, literally.
They have OKC next as well, so that's going to be a dub, because OKC is, oh my God, worse than you and me if we play basketball.
No, honestly, I think they sent me a 10-day contract. You didn't get one?
I did, but I declined it because I wanted to play for the legit basketball team, not a WNBA team.
Oh, I thought it was a G League offer. That's why I accepted it. I was like,
no,
okay.
honestly, I think most of the WNBA could probably beat the Oakland right now, or OKC.
I mean, that's not hard to do. My sister could beat them.
Oklahoma, not Oakland. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, no. But yeah, so that, I think it's nice. I definitely, we'll see what happens, but let's stay in the West for a bit while we look over these things, and let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Let me just make sure LeBron's not showing behind me.
Sir, what's up with your LeBron and your Lakers? I know you're not a Laker fan, but
okay,
you're
we're gonna
LeBron fan.
Ask the question properly, please. What is wrong with the Lakers? LeBron's doing just fine. LeBron's okay.
I don't know. Did you see him talk? The man did not like those fans last night. The man had some words with the fans.
They
That's
booed
not
him.
good.
If I booed you, you would
boo him too right now.
We met at a church camp. If I had your campers, I'm gonna bring the name up because fudge it. If I had the whole camp sinking a yellow submarine and I'm Josh Nasser, are you gonna be pissed? Are you gonna be pissed? Say, for example, you're not Josh Nasser, but you're Brandon Schuler, and the whole camp is making fun of you. What would you do as if you're not the jiddo of that freaking camp? You'll be pissed. This dude comes in, brings a championship.
Yeah, okay.
You're singing yellow submarine to this guy. Not fair. It's not a LeBron problem.
We'll be sure to tag Josh in this episode because he's gonna love it.
Let's tag him because he deserves that. Yeah. God, shout out
okay,
Josh.
Listen, I will give you that. You have a very fair counterpoint and a very realistic way to explain it. So I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Here's the problem, though. You were supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be a leader on your team, and it's collapsing in front of you. And you are right now causing more drama, even though you said these comments of "I'm with the Lakers." What I was talking about with Bronny, it's different. I'm committed to Lakers. There's clearly something that's going behind the scenes that none of us know about. And if you were supposed to be LeBron James, the leader of this group, if I was the jiddo of camp and stuff, and I couldn't get people behind me, there's a problem.
But this is the thing. This is the thing that I don't think it makes it a LeBron problem. Yes, he's the leader, right? But this, you're a head male. You could be the leader, but you could still have shitty teammates.
No, it's true. Like,
You
I'm
know
not
what I
saying it's
mean?
his fault. I'm just saying, like, if I was him, I would do everything in my power to fix this right now. And just because it seemed like he's trying, just kind of, he's like, I know what it is. We're probably not going to freaking make the playoffs.
So I just pulled up the stats from yesterday against the Pelicans. They lost 123-95. Okay.
Also, the Pelicans' Twitter handle changed, or not the handle, but their header
Profile.
changed to basically talking about how they blew out them, and they'll see them next week.
Fair. Totally fair. Totally
Yeah.
fair. But
Yeah.
let's just look at the production. Can
Okay.
we?
Yeah.
LeBron James, 36 minutes, drops 32 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I'm with the 7 turnovers, not okay. But let's see who else is playing. Trevor Ariza, 11 minutes, 3 points. Dwight Howard, 22 minutes, 6 points. Russell Westbrook, 28 minutes, 16 points, 7 turnovers, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, no blocks. That's it. That's the second leading scorer on the team. Then you have the third leading scorer being Carmelo Anthony that played 30 minutes. Let me read you his numbers.
That one hurts. That one hurts.
13 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, 1 block. So, is LeBron James playing offense? Pretty much. He's averaging 29 on the season. I think he's doing fine. Is he playing defense?
Yeah, no.
He has 2 steals, 2 blocks, and he has 6 defensive boards. I think he's playing some defense. Is he getting any help? Is he getting any help from anyone ever? No, not really. I think out of those 3 people, the next highest scorer was 6 points. No, forgive me, 9 points for Wayne Ellington.
Yeah. So
that's not okay.
So while
he's
playing,
I think the
how
team
LeBron has
gave
to
up
play,
on Pelinka and
which is totally fair.
Vogel. I think that's what happened.
So here's a couple things. One, it sucks the fact that AD is out because he would definitely have changed that
big time.
And DeAndre Jordan doesn't matter at this point because DeAndre Jordan is gone now.
By DeAndre.
He said bye.
Did you see that? Did you see that highlight of him throwing it from half court to the guy in the corner, but he threw it as if it was a shot, and it literally went into the stands, fully in the air, flew into the stands. It was terrible.
So for all we know, he could be a major problem. For all we know, we don't.
What the hell?
You got an ad going on over there, bud?
I got an ad going on over there.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Listen, that's why I muted my computer for that reason. It's okay. I'm just smart like that. Anyhow, so back to the point of.
Wait. How's your webcam? Oh,
yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay, cool. Good talk. You're in debt to me right now. Anyhow, so AD not playing and being hurt definitely hurts a lot. But my thing also, while LeBron has 32 points and stuff, how much of that was, if you broke it down to how many of those points were once they were already being blown out? Because right now, given they got destroyed, so everyone's point differential while they're on the court is horrendous, and his is -22 and Westbrook's is -26. Well, it's all bad because you got blown out. You lost by almost 40 points. It's going to look bad.
Yeah.
But the problem, it's the same problem that I have with the Hawks. When Trae Young drops 40, we win. If he doesn't drop 40, we lose. But we aren't being blown out. That's the thing. If LeBron has to drop 40 to 50 points for you to have a chance, he can be the greatest player, if you want to call him second greatest, whatever you want to say. Third greatest, he's in the top 3, no matter what you want to say. And he can say, yeah, I know. The problem is that if you want to make the playoffs or in the playing round, you're going to have to get someone else to do that. And the problem is that's on the management for not trading away. So it's not LeBron's fault for that. And I know we've discussed this before. They should have picked another player up. They should have traded Westbrook or trade someone else, but they didn't. Which means that you fully trusted that LeBron could handle this with the team he had.
Yeah.
And is that fully on management? We will never know. Did LeBron go behind the scenes and say, no, we're good with what we have? We don't know because LeBron runs teams when he's there. We all know that much.
But he did officially come out saying that he did ask for John Wall. He did ask for John Wall.
But do you want Westbrook to go or not? That's the question.
No,
that won't admit that part.
He came up and said, "Give Russ."
He said, "What?" Okay.
and for Wall. So that was also big news because they asked Russell Westbrook. He was like, "Well, I'm here now, and like whatever, I'm here to stay."
So that's the other thing. Does LeBron admitting that cause more disheart between the two? Like,
Yeah.
why would you admit that? It's too late at this point. Maybe once the season ends, sure. But you admitting that while you still have a chance to make a push for the playoffs, play-ins, whichever one you think they're going to make. The fact that he admitted that this early, it's just like, it doesn't look good in my opinion. But they're going to have to go on a mad run.
They have to go on a mad run. I mean, where are they right now in the West?
They are
9.
They are 9th, 2.5 ahead of New Orleans, who they got blown out by, and they play them again in a couple days, I believe. And Lakers play the Mavericks next.
See, but this is the thing. I'm with you 100%. Like, I think he couldn't get traded. LeBron, you still should be able to get them somewhere. I mean, you brought a Cavs team that had no Matthew Dellavedova was your next best player. You have better pieces than that. It's fair to say.
Don't you mention that rat's name to me ever. He ruined my season one year with a freaking dive at someone's legs. We're not talking about that with Kyle Korver, but it's cool.
We're good. We're chilling. We're chilling on that.
We're good.
I will say this though. I don't think you could coach Frank Vogel, this team, because they clearly, what is Frank Vogel known for? Defense. They're not playing any defense. This team was
that's true.
In the bubble. What was it? Number 1 on D. I mean, they're probably dead last. Last time I checked. So
they're not good.
So like LeBron is doing his thing. I mean, Russ eventually is doing his thing. The 14 turnovers between the both of them don't help. But I think LeBron's overcompensating because he knows Russell Westbrook ain't doing it. And then he overcompensates, gives the ball to people. They're either not catching it, not in the right spots, or they're missing their shots. Again, I think this team isn't even going to make the plan. I truly believe
at the rate they're going, no. If they are not, I would say, but if this is assuming AD comes back too. If AD doesn't come back, it's long over. If AD comes back, they better have 4 or 5 game cushion to be safe because you don't know what he's going to be like.
Because they got what?
Either way,
the Pelicans on their butt, and I mean Portland. Portland looked pretty good after the trades. It didn't look like
the Spurs sold too. San Antonio Spurs sold at the trade deadline, and they are right behind them. Like, it's just not good. But I think if the Lakers don't make it, even if they make the plan, they don't make playoffs. It's one of the worst basketball collapses ever for a big three that you're supposed to have.
And where did they make the mistake? By not giving DeRozan, which I think that's all I want to talk about with the Lakers because it's depressing.
That's fine because I would love to talk about DeRozan. I would love to talk about DeRozan, even though my team got DeRozan a couple days ago.
Well, I think the first thing did you see him get ejected?
I did see that.
Did you think that was a foul?
I honestly was laughing so much, I kind of forgot what happened exactly. I was just watching. I was smoking a hookah with some buddies. We were watching it. And next thing I know, he was ejected, and I just like. I called it though. So my buddy on Prize Picks picked his over. I said, "You better be careful because you're either going about foul out or get ejected, either right before or right after." He goes over it. My buddy's super excited, and then he's ejected. And I was just like, I said, "I just called it 5 minutes ago. I called this." I was dying of laughter when it happened. I was like, the moment was just perfect.
I think, you know what? If you rather talk about the Bulls, I think you should start us off. I think you should start off because we don't give them enough love to these Bulls.
We have not. And it hurts me. It hurts me that we really haven't talked about them in a long time. Also, the fact that the Hawks play them again in a couple days scares me. But so here's the thing. The Bulls have looked really good. But they've also just took 2 L's in a row. One to Memphis, and then they just lost to Miami by 13 points. Who was up there with them? So the fact that they weren't, and they probably should have lost to the Hawks. Let's be real. That game was the Hawks, and they gave it away at the end.
Right.
So they could have gone on a 3-game losing streak, which would probably be the longest of their season. They look really good. DeRozan, I personally think if he keeps playing how he is, he's MVP.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I'm not sure. Let's look at the stats tonight since the game ended a little while ago. I mean, Chicago tried to come back. That was the thing. Chicago, they had to come back against last night and tonight, and they just couldn't do it. Like they were down big. And this was the bad game. It looks like for DeRozan because Levine scored the most of 22. So DeRozan only had 18 points.
Yeah, but
That's the
against
thing.
number one
It's the
team in
same.
East for
No, it is. Yes. So I mean, both of them neck and neck the whole season so far. Does DeRozan have to put up 30, 35 points though for them to win? That's going to be the biggest question now. Because so he put up 18 when they lost. Let's look how many he put up against. I know he went over for his projected
31.
the other night against Memphis, but I'm not sure if he got to 35.
No, he got 31.
He got 31. So yeah. So I mean, given John Moran went off for 46, but still, where at that point, either way, when DeRozan was at his hottest, going 35 a game, they were winning everything. The second he started to slow down a bit, I think it was a given eventually he was going to slow down. And there was probably going to be a couple of losses because you're riding him. And if he's not making the shots when you're expecting him to, it's going to be difficult.
Right.
But now this is when Zach LaVine has to show up. Cover the workload while DeRozan cools off a little bit. He put up 22 tonight, but at this point, you guys need to be putting up 25 each. Put up 50 together. Like, it's not crazy numbers. Their defense is good enough that if they can, score. I mean, they scored 110 the other night. They scored 99 tonight. Tonight was a bad night for them.
Yeah.
But if they can score between 110 and 115 minimum, it should be good. And if they can get to the 120, easy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm very impressed with them as a whole. I won't lie. I have them into the finals in the East. I think they're going to still make the run. And I think it's probably best that he kind of cools off now so he can find that stroke again because he was just putting up video game numbers. It was too insane for him to continue it going over and over. And it was going to come time where it had to stop just because it happens.
Yeah.
But I still love the Bulls team. I mean, I'm not just their two main scorers, but I mean, they're big and everyone as a whole. Like, I am very bought in that the Bulls can make a deep run still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, I'm just looking at the stats. The month of February, this guy went off. These are all
insane.
points. 29, 28, 31, 45, 38, 36, 35, 38, 40, 38. Coming out of the All-Star break, 37, 31, and then he dropped 18 tonight. And this is, I think in the month of February, he's only lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he lost to Toronto, Philly, before Harden. Phoenix by 3. Right? Memphis.
Yeah.
Miami.
And Miami.
So it's fair to say Toronto's a wash.
Yeah.
Philly, I mean, they probably would have lost that even with Harden. And Miami, that one, 7 games, that could go differently. Memphis is in the West, so they won't see him until later. I mean, this is all without Caruso and Lonzo.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true. Like, Lonzo has not been
defense.
playing. I'm going to not go back on my MVP, but I didn't realize that Joel was averaging 29.8 right now. Holy crap. I thought he was I knew he was averaging a lot, but I didn't realize it was quite 30 almost. Wow. So, I mean, he could still make a run for MVP. I think Harden, well, we can get to that in a minute before I go that. Let's finish with these Bulls.
My thing with the Bulls is their ceiling, as impressive as DeRozan has been, I think he's MVP for sure. Because there's no debating that there was a time before him and the time after him.
Yeah.
I still don't see them beating Philly. I still don't see them beating the Nets. And we haven't seen these two teams fully yet. Yeah,
maybe that's the thing. All the top teams besides the Heat right now in the East are missing players.
Like the Bucks, I still see beating them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still think. I just think that when it comes down to playoffs, that Giannis is going to go Giannis mode on people and make it out of the East. But let's talk about this Philly situation because my God, I won't lie, they have been looking good. Given his limited couple games, but
Only 2
boy,
games.
they looking scary.
Only
But they
2
looking
games.
scary.
They look terrifying. I listened to Kendrick Perkins on. I love Kendrick Perkins. He went on First Take today. He's like, he was comparing this duo to Kobe and Shaq, and he comes out today
Yeah.
saying, "It's not Kobe and Shaq, it's Magic and Kareem." And I'm like, "Whoa!" So let's just pull up their numbers. I'm gonna find their numbers.
While you're pulling them up, I'm just going to also mention that Brooklyn got blown out by Toronto tonight. I just noticed about a 40 points almost.
But who is playing for him?
It doesn't matter. Toronto should not score 133 on them.
Right, but I mean, was it in Toronto? Was Kyrie there? Ben Simmons is still out. KD still out. Are we expecting any?
No, I know. It makes me laugh. I still think the Nets are just almost as collapsible as the Lakers. Oof. But yeah, no. So Harden and Embiid are
I'm trying to find their numbers.
they're scary looking, and I just can't believe the fact that while this looks great, it's also scary that what happens if it starts to turn. Because when we all know when Harden's playing great and Harden loves to be playing for the team, it's rainbows, unicorns, whatever you want to say. But the second it starts to go downhill, Harden will put the fat suit on, sit games out, and just tank himself. Like when it's butterflies and rainbows, he loves it. But when hard times come, and they haven't had a hard time yet,
I mean,
I still don't see it happening soon because
in Toronto, right? Knicks in Toronto.
Yeah. So you're not playing the top tier teams clearly yet. If you start putting these numbers up against them, though, okay.
Yeah. I mean, his first game back, he looked pretty damn slim to me.
Oh, my God.
29, 10, 16, 5 steals.
I mean, just it's mad numbers. It's insane.
In that same game, Joel drops 37 with 9 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. Jesus Christ.
We got to talk about these ads.
I need to figure this out.
We're going to discuss this later.
This is, I blame the production agency that has put this podcast together. Edit this out. That's fine.
Cut it. Yeah. No.
I mean, that's his first game. So he was fat in Brooklyn. Yeah. I mean, this guy's fine. He's fine. He's fine, is exactly what you said. What is he going to do against big moments? What is he going to fold?
Yeah. Which, I mean, let's see. Who's their next team? Who's their next game? I can't speak.
They face the Knicks tomorrow. Or no, 2 days tomorrow.
Okay, so also let's talk about this. With DeAndre Jordan leaving the Lakers and the Sixers pushing him, is that going to make just enough of an added difference that if something goes wrong that he can come in and help save a game? Or do we think that DeAndre Jordan is just going to be sitting on the bench?
So you know what? You're probably going to be like, where the hell did this come from? Because I know we talked about it for 5 seconds. I was looking at their depth. They don't have much depth, man.
They don't. So, I mean, that's why I see them wanting him because they don't have much depth at all.
I think he's going to be maybe 15 minutes a night type of guy just to give Joel a break. He don't need to put up 30.
They gave away Drummond. So they really, at that point, they lost their backup.
Right. But I mean, he could still run the pick and roll, which is similar to what Embiid does. Harden could still eat, and then Harden could get a break when Joel goes in, so they could get the time on the ball, which they both need.
Yeah.
I think it's actually, I think I told you it's not going to make that much of a difference. I think this is a big deal if they could get, at least bigger picture, another body to put on Giannis.
That's fair.
That could be a big deal. Do I see it being like DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls? No. But I see it being like a good, important piece.
It's a good playoff push, piece, in my opinion. My other thing is when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, what happens when Embiid has a slow night but wants the ball and Harden doesn't want to give it to him? That's the other my thing. Harden's going to be selfish at some point. Embiid right now, he's talked about how open he's been and whatnot. Like he's admitted, this is great. When the honeymoon phase ends, they're going to have to get past that little bit of struggle, and they might with ease, and I hope for basketball fans that they do. But if they don't, it's just not going to look pretty. But until I see that, I'm scared of the 76ers right now. I'm not going to lie.
But they have Doc Rivers, and I know his history.
Fair enough.
You know, choke
Everything I said now
sometimes.
matters nothing.
But you right now, Doc Rivers, show me what you showed in Boston. That's all. You had big personalities there. Figure that crap out now. Because regardless if Embiid's having a bad night or Harden's having a bad night, you have to respect them because they could turn it on like this. I mean, that's all coaching at that point, which you hope, you know, they've talked about it. I don't think a move like this happens if there isn't contingency plans for situations like that. So I'm not worried in that sense. I get your concern. I think they should.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just looking at all angles, but I'm scared of them either way right now.
And they have a tough next 5 games. I mean, New York and like the next, Cleveland, Miami, Chicago, and then Brooklyn. I mean, that's going to be a good test. That could, and then they have Orlando, but then they go to Denver and back to Cleveland, Dallas. So they have a good 10-game stretch where they're going to be battle tested.
For sure.
I just, I mean, they face Indiana. Guess how much the tickets are in Indiana for when they play?
I'm sure my plane ticket would cost me more.
It's $12.
We should go to Indiana. Think about it.
Wait, when do they don't? We should go to Miami. $35, bro. What?
Les, I'm down. Listen, I'm down. We can start doing that. We got to start doing it. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's freaking send it. But yeah, man, that's pretty. Like the NBA right now is looking good. Like there's a lot of disappointments, but there's also good teams out there. And what is it? The last 20 games is
20-ish, 20-ish, 20, 21, depending on the team. 22 maybe.
I think maybe we need to figure out our MVP conversation pretty soon. That has to be next week.
Yeah, I would agree. You mentioned the word disappointment, and I'm going to quickly transition over to something I'm very disappointed in, the fact that baseball still doesn't have an agreement.
Teach me, bro.
So here's the problem mainly I have right now. Today is the deadline day. If the deal doesn't happen by midnight, I don't know whatever time zone they're in, baseball will be delayed. Opening day will not happen. And I'm looking at like updates right now, and it'll start in April sometime if it starts on time.
Okay.
But today's the deadline. The two sides are still talking it over from the looks of it right now. It looks like they're in the Eastern right now. But the last update it has was 8:35. One of the owner side representatives went to meet with players. So it's still, I don't know, because right now the deal hasn't been made. So it's just really up in the air. So we're waiting to just see. Hopefully it gets a deal done by midnight tonight, because otherwise it's going to be delayed, and that just sucks for baseball as a whole.
Yeah.
And there's not much to talk about right now since it's literally just a waiting game. But I just wanted to throw that one out there real fast because it's just sad the fact that we're at this point now, and it's over. It's, from what I've seen, the biggest issue right now is the owners want the cap to stay at like 220 or something, and the players want the cap to be at 245. It's not even like, it's not like 200, 300. It's barely difference, but still. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens tomorrow. Either I'll wake up. Actually, I'll still be awake after midnight. Let's be real. But either way, tomorrow I'll wake up and there will either be baseball opening day, or there will be a deadline still happening, or lockout still happening, and we will be in Shit's Creek, which sucks.
So I know you love baseball. So I'm going to ask this.
Love it.
What does this mean for the game of baseball, in your opinion? If this does not happen tonight?
It's a bad look on baseball. Baseball is hard enough for people who aren't truly into baseball to get into baseball, because you got 3.5 hour games, 4 hour depending on it, like with extra innings, rain delays. So it's a long game, and it's not as exciting. When you're having a pitcher duel, if you like offense and you're having pitchers duel it out, you're just like, well, I'm just watching strikeout after strikeout, nothing's happening. And then it's the same thing. Like if it's just like bomb after bomb, like, well, this is exciting, but where's the defense stuff? So like the fact that the lockout's still going and it could easily delay the season and cut the season short, it just looks bad as a whole for a sport that's had a hard enough time to get younger generations in. Like some people, if you're raised up in it, you love it. But if you don't watch it, you're just like, this makes me not want to watch it more. Like it's such a disappointment. Like that's really like the word you use is the best way to describe. Like it's not a good look for us at all. Us as baseball fans to just like, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's just a waiting game, and it's millionaires fighting millionaires.
Yeah.
So, but
well, that might have to be the first thing we talk about next week, or maybe
for sure.
A special. If this thing figures itself out, we might have to make another one later this week because that's big news.
Make a little short one, yeah. But I think the other sport that on a more exciting note, soccer came back this weekend, had some great matches. I watched a fair bit, watched my team win theirs, but I mean there were some nice ones. However, speaking of soccer front, Russia is banned from international competition. I saw on Soccer Day as well as in hockey they announced as well, which it's big.
Big deal.
Yeah. Hopefully, I still wish this war would end sooner than later just because it's not needed, but it's not looking good. And
At all.
I think as much as I hate, sports becoming outside of sports realm, I think that was the right call to basically abandon them because it's just not right. But either way,
But can we just
massive,
shout out
like,
the president of the Ukraine real quick? He is a freaking monster. You see him strapped up walking in Ukraine making like diss track videos. Like this dude is not playing.
It's a stud.
I mean, there's a few races that I won't mess with, and like that type of like Russian, Ukrainian, Serbian, like they scare me. Like holy crap. So whatever type of war they're fighting, I mean, it ain't pretty. So just shout out to you guys fighting and hopefully this war ends soon.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Also, what I realized, we never made brackets for March Madness, and it's March tomorrow.
I'm
not sure. Yeah, yep. I'm not sure what the first day of March Madness starts, though.
I believe it starts usually like March 13th, somewhere in there.
See if that starts, then that works well because then we can still make a bracket.
That's what we planned for it to be, right? Yeah, we planned that.
I think that's what we planned. Yeah, we're smart.
We talked that in our preset meeting.
Yeah. I just forgot. Management forgot to tell me that they left that detail out.
We're gonna have to fire Jimmy at this point. Damn it, Jimmy.
Selection Sunday is the 13th on CBS.
Okay.
We told him that.
Dude, yeah. Jimmy, you're fired. You're fired. Done. We have to do that.
So we can plan to have our bracket before the 14th one. We can make the bracket after Sunday once they
let's do it.
Once they make selection Monday, we'll have it ready. Okay, so that's fine.
We became very fancy for us because we care about this so much. We got notes. We have all of our bets. We're recording them. So every time we record and we have an idea, we're writing them down now. We got Google Drive. We're ready for you guys. We are on schedule. We are prepared every week. We want to just give you guys some things. And you know what? We still got to talk Formula One. So maybe we just figured out a new contest, like in its totality. And maybe, who knows? Maybe we wait and have a dear friend of ours join us on this conversation.
Yeah.
On Formula One. So
who knows? But I mean, I could talk sports forever, as we know that. But I think for now, we've pretty much covered the basis of what Jimmy had for us before we fired him.
I'm not paying him after this. This was he messed up. March Madness is happening. He didn't tell us.
It's big.
This doesn't happen to Pat McAfee or Stephen A. Like they have people reminding them. They're busy guys. We're busy guys.
Gosh.
freaking
Like we just started this or something. Nah, dude. I broke him.
We had 24 hours. We were more prepared for Jimmy. Oh God.
Oh,
Well,
Okay, well,
what? I
guys.
think the highlight of this podcast, hands down, shout out Josh Nelson for being left out of the Rice Lodge. If you know, you know. So
if you
shout
know,
out
you
to the
know.
Yellow Submarine.
Oh, but listen, we all live in Rice Lodge down the street, and I can't wait. Next week we'll have another banger. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty more NBA drama. Who knows how the standings will shake up in a week? Maybe the Denver Nuggets will run off another 4 or 5 games in a row and just make Woody cry a bit more.
I might have to
Or maybe they
pull
lose
Josh
4 in a
Natzer,
row.
Kim St. Thecla and run away.
Yeah. Or they'll lose 4 in a row and I will disappear. But we'll find out. So it is what it is. Hopefully baseball will be back by then.
Hopefully.
We'll know for sure in a couple hours.
Hour and a half. Almost.
Maybe. What?
Hour and a half.
Oh God, it's so close. I thought we had more time, but no. Maybe there'll be a couple more things about football that some drama has either stirred up more or free agents start to sign. Who knows?
Yeah.
But either way, it's gonna be big.
It's gonna be.
There's no way around it. It's gonna be big.
We will be in the Rice Lodge.
Another week. Another week of soccer will have passed. And I never heard a problem with soccer, so I'm excited. I can't wait for an episode of more soccer. Honestly, I'm excited for that time.
We need to have. World Cup happening. I know they were laughing out Russia, but
World Cup happens in November.
We're ready. So
it's gonna be sick. But until next time, until one week, we finally got it down to where we can do a week. We finally got that down.
Be
Let's
on the
make it
lookout
happen.
Tuesdays. And also, I feel like we should have said this like earlier. Like and subscribe because people don't know that this is still happening. Like and subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Every notification.
Tell your family.
Share it. My dad watches. He's like one of our subscribers. So let your dad watch it. Nope, doesn't sound right. I'm gonna shut up now. Brandon, take it away.
Listen. Share with your friends. Share with your families. Share with your girlfriend's family, your boyfriend's families. If you're a male or female, whatever you want to do. Make sure your grandmother watches it. That's the most important. Not really, no. Whoever you want to have watch it. But for real, guys, we love you.
Shout out Tattoo Girl because she makes our days way better, Brandon. Shout out Tattoo Girl. And on that note,
tattoos are wonderful.
Make sure she watches this.
If you can find Tattoo Girl and you have her watch, that would be biggest fan of you for life.
Glory to God. Glory to God. But shout out to next time, guys. Peace out. Like and subscribe. Brandon, I'll see you in a bit.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.